here inside the Ibeji Lounge with Melonie and Melorra Green, and you just were blessed by a snippet from Sister Nekia, the Sound Hero. How are you? Welcome to the space.
I'm well, feeling very blessed to be here. How are you ladies doing?
And
Doing
we're
well.
great.
I remember when I first met you. We were at was it the People Party?
Yep, at the club.
I know, right? We were at the People Party. I call it church because they play soulful house music, and it's one of the few places that I know if I can get it on, a scheduled Saturday. I try to put it in my plan, and I go there and I just forget about everything. And I walk past someone who has like a series of singing bowls. I see a sister and singing bowl. I'm like, okay, I need to get over there. And then at first I had it, then I didn't have time to go over there. And things just kept drawing me over to you, just drawing me over to you. So finally I said I'll be obedient. And I asked you about the process. And y'all, I sat in that chair. I just felt so connected and rooted. And I saw my aunt, I saw my grandmother. I mean, I just felt like answers were coming, and I was very certain that more was to come. Like I felt like it was something that I needed to do, and it was just drawing me over to your process. What is it that you do with the singing bowls, and how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for about 4 years now. I think I got my first singing bowl in 2013, and I started just on myself. I just started on myself, mostly for my own stress management, for post-traumatic stress. So I started playing the bowls for my meditation. It had been a part of my own self healing. And as I began working with the bowls and meditating and doing the yoga, I was definitely feeling some of the benefits. And then one day I had cramps. So I was like, let me just put this on my stomach and see, see what happens. And that's when I felt like that that experience. It was, the pain relief. There was some pain relief, but really it was this ease in my heart, and this relaxation that came over me that I had only experienced with chemical substances. So I kept doing it.
Yeah. You were like flat. I kept doing it. Next question. Why stop?
It's just interesting because, you know, we know that vibration and sound and all of that plays a part, but there isn't always a connection to how we can do it and we can just pick it up and start doing it. And the belief that the natural pull to that as an instrument of healing, even though we relate to it as you tap it, there's a certain way that we are accustomed to seeing it. And for you to step into something else, especially as a woman of color, like to take on healing, did you have any reservation? How did you start communicating to people about what it would do for them and like building up an ability of confidence with it?
It took a couple years. For the first year, I really just played it on myself. I think I might have mentioned to my roommate, like, oh yeah, because she said that whenever she'd hear me playing it in my room, she would have lucid dreams.
Oh wow.
Because I wanted to check and make sure, I wasn't disturbing anyone.
Yeah.
And I had started with the bowls and the flute about the same time. So I didn't know how to play the flute before 2013. And it was all for me, for my self healing. I was burnt out from teaching, from life, from trauma, and I just felt like music might have been the way. And so for the first year, it was just me like playing it on myself and sometimes on friends. And it wasn't until I was traveling and I was teaching abroad in Guatemala, and I started offering it to some of my teacher friends as well, and getting feedback from them, and they were they really enjoyed it and found it to be really it's like very helpful. And so while I was there, I ended up losing my teaching job, and I still had my bowl and my flute. So I had a lot of friends who were Guatemalans and like from Mexico who would play on the street and play music on the street, go in the restaurants, and sell their artwork and things like that on the street. And so I had I didn't have very much money. I was teaching at an international school, but we got paid a very small salary, and so I really didn't have enough to like get a flight back, and I didn't want to. I would have felt defeated, and so I stayed, and when my money ran out, I was on the street like hustling, and so I would play music in restaurants and play music with friends, and I started playing the bowls on people as like a for donation, as like a massage, like a sound massage. And that's when I really started to see, just how beneficial it was for people because I'm a black woman in Guatemala on the street playing singing bowls, and a lot of the tourists, they really weren't that interested. They wanted the Guatemalan experience. And so um, the Guatemalans were very interested. And I mean, I must have played on hundreds of people, and then getting feedback from them. So what worked, what didn't work, how are you feeling, what like what. So I was very open to that feedback, and so it just continued to evolve, and I out of all those people, by now I've probably played on maybe 300, maybe more people, and out of all those people, I think maybe 2 or 3 people might have said like that frequency didn't work for me, and maybe 3 people have said, oh, I feel the same. I just didn't feel any difference one way or the other. Everyone else has had a very enjoyable experience, has been able to take away what they needed from it, because it just provides a space for people. It provides a pure, safe space for people to process whatever it is they need to process. And I love offering it and sharing it, and it's a tool that people can learn to use on themselves. Now I'm at the Y, and so I actually teach folks how to play the instruments, play them on themselves, and as well as play them on each other. And we have families that sometimes come in, so mothers can play on their children, and then the children can play on their mom.
That's so sweet.
And to just show that we have the power to heal ourselves.
Wow. What impact does it have on you as a healer to work with such a strong vibration?
It's especially specifically with the vibrational aspect. It I continue to evolve as with my self healing, and as a self healer, and I've noticed now that um I I'm able to manifest what I need pretty much in the moment, and it comes right away.
Wow.
Without very much, and because it's just I'm able to focus a lot.
Now what do you do? We're all zeroing in, and I know everyone out there wants to know. Okay, so you
Once
got
you
the
start to
boom,
melt
you got
instantly.
the little mallet, and now what are you saying? What are you doing? We should have brought our bowls, Melanie. What are you doing? What's the contract?
So for the one that I've been working on right now is really a mantra that's very simple. It's just bringing in, breathing in, inhaling all that I need, exhaling all that's not serving me. And so it's very simple, and it's as I'm doing it, I kind of feel my aura and my body like inhaling and exhaling as well, so that I have space. If I'm not exhaling all that's not serving me, then there's no space to bring in more of what I need. So that's been a very good one. Um, since I've been doing the bowls for quite a while now for myself, I've actually gotten into chanting and vocalization. And I find for me, um, that actually takes me to a higher level than playing the bowls on me, because there's a certain amount of focus I need to have if I'm playing on myself. So it's I've found that the vocalizations help, and vocalizations while playing the bowls as well. And really, that's about focusing on keeping things moving. So I use one that's vowel sounds, and that's what the ancient Egyptians used. Was vocalizations and tonings with vowel sounds. So I use those, and some of the sounds, line up with your endocrine system or the chakras, or however folks choose to call it. And I it kind of just sets me right. It gets me straight,
Yeah.
regardless of any what's going on the outside. I used to have panic attacks very frequently. Um, for most of my life, I didn't know what it was like to not feel stress, like to not be caught in that fight or flight, moment. I ran away when I was 15 because I really thought my dad was dangerous. It was not safe. And and growing up within a childhood where I'm always feeling unsafe and in that constant state of fear, it followed me throughout my life, even though I knew that there was nothing to fear. I knew that I had overcome that obstacle, but I was still caught in this cycle. And that's the biggest thing I think that the bowls have done for me, is it broke that cycle of the triggers, and like just constantly responding to those triggers. So I'm able to manifest because I'm not focusing on other I'm not focusing on triggers.
Vibration.
Yeah, past things that happen, and I'm able to just focus in the moment.
That's so beautiful, and it takes me back to a statement that Melanie said a second ago, and then one that we repeat on on the air. Hoping that people can hear it and really take it on. But we have everything we need.
Yes.
Even if you lost your bowl, you can chant that vow and recenter yourself. We far too often look outside of ourselves for the very thing that can ground us. And I love that you found that singing bowl. And I think you mentioned, like, we've done a little work, chanting with singing bowls. And I know I mentioned to you we would love to sit with you. Something that really touched me that I know you shared with Melanie too. We just completed Juneteenth this weekend with you. Thank you for uniting with us. One of the most touching things I've heard in a very long time was that you said, I listened to your show. How did you said you moved here?
Yeah.
And yeah.
So I moved here a little over a year ago, and I knew I had a certain amount of money, and I knew how expensive it was, so I got a van, and it wasn't no thing. I was like, I would rather have my own space, not be stressed. And I didn't know when I was going to get a job. And so I would just park all over San Francisco, trying to find the best places to park, and just kicking it in the van. And I finish work on Tuesdays at about 8. So when I get off of work, y'all would be on. And so your show was like one of the first ways that I started connecting here, and it was, I mean, it really, at that time, like I was lonely. I didn't know anyone. You know, I had traveled from Guatemala into Mexico and up into California hitching. So
You really did it.
You did it, okay?
I didn't know
That's some
anybody.
bravery personified.
And so your show really, it really held me during some times where, I mean, my van got broken into and everything I got stolen. This is a new flute, you know, like all my instruments I had to replace. And you know, I was looking for housing, but you know, it was taking a while. And I was working, you know, I was working at the Y, but it was hard, you know,
Yeah.
like, being homeless is not easy. And you got y'all were there.
Man,
So thank you.
I just remember being in Juneteenth, like, I'm not gonna cry today. I'm not going to cry right now. But it really touched me to hear that, and it was great to be able to share that with Melorra because, you know, on the other side of that, you know, you never know who's being impacted by the space you're willing to be inside of your own insecurities or inside of whatever is going on in life. And so it was just a blessing to hear that we were able to welcome you in any way to the Bay, and certainly into communities and people who are doing something, and to be able to meet you and discover the great work you're doing. Like, I'm very excited for more.
Yes.
Yeah. And you held me, I'm telling you. When you ask the universe for answers and something tells you to turn right or left, just listen, because I turned right. I sat in that chair and I got exactly what I was looking for, even when I didn't know the question. So I thank you for holding space for me, and also for holding space for us. Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
And you blessed me. I sat in the chair during Juneteenth on Saturday, and my girlfriend just was like, "You have a new face." And trust me, we were there very early that morning, and we had a long week before. So to come and be able to receive the blessing of healing on that day, in that moment, while still having so much to do, was just great to have that. So thank you, really and truly. Gave me a new face.
Was tight.
Yes.
So if people want to connect with you, want to experience transformation in their lives through your sound healing process, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? And remember, we can't say prices, but just give us what we need to connect with you.
All right. So my website is yessoundheals.com. Just got it all up and looking pretty. So please check it out. So you can contact me on my website and find out more about sound healing, what I'm doing in the community, and you can also hit me up at any of the events that I have. I have a lot of regular events, specifically at the Y. So the Bayview Y on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 6:30. It's an adult group. You can bring your children over 7, and but you got to be there with them. So
You're like, don't drop them off right away.
If you want to come,
how the boats work.
Yeah, but if you want to come and you just need that space, and we have child watch, so there's some options, right? So stop by, visit me at the Bayview Y, and that is free for San Francisco residents. I'll say that
Hold
again.
on, that's real important, y'all. I need you to rewind.
Free for San Francisco residents, and all Y members, of course. So please stop by and support us, support our group, and as a part of that, you actually learn how to play the instruments, and we make a meditation soundtrack. So you participate in making your own meditation soundtrack, and then I put it on SoundCloud so you can listen to it throughout the week during your meditation. The people party every fourth Saturday. I'm upstairs. I got the massage chair. Sometimes I might bring a table, and you can just try it out. That's at a donation rate. I don't turn anyone away. We have a couple of other events. The movement It's a dance party for activists and seekers. That's on July 1st, and that will be at the East Bay Community Center. And we'll have actually a make your own meditation workshop and some performances, and I'll probably have a chair there so you can come and try it out then. Another movement event is on July 16th. And then I'm at the Marsh performing on July 17th and July 31st. So there's lots of different ways to engage if you just want to test it out, but you're not ready to schedule, book an appointment. I'm all around town.
How long you been in the Bay?
Right.
Like, it's so long. You doing more than people been all their lives. What's going on?
I said, go ahead, honey. Heal us all.
Well, that's the thing. We're healing our. I'm just facilitating. I'm just creating the best possible scenario so your body can do what it wants to do.
This is real. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, ladies. Can I finish off the little flute?
Yeah, do it. We want to hear the bowl.
Oh, hold on. I got it. Hold on. Is that going? All right.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being there.
Thank you for receiving it.
Man, KPOO San Francisco, 89.5 FM. Here inside the Ibeji Lounge with Melonie and Melorra Green. Yeah, I mean, I'm just moved. So thank you so much for what you shared. And we'll have good music coming up and we can do our shout out in about 10 minutes.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
All right. This is Georgia Ann Muldrow, Runaway, one of my favorite songs.
As I was free to be